Does she deserve the hate? Or were we wrong about her? Was she a mega control freak who caused Walter White to downhill spiral more than he should have? Maybe we missed something, and the show's original ending for Skyler White would have made her even worse and more hated in the fans' eyes. In my opinion, this is the greatest show of all time. A lot of people will mention The Wire, they'll mention Dexter, Game of Thrones, they'll mention The Shield, they'll mention a lot of other shows, but this to me is the best show of all time. And I came late to the party. I watched it like freaking almost 10 years after the fact. My perspective on this is also very, very different from a lot of people. Now, Skyler White might be top 5 most hated characters in TV fiction in general. I can't think of many other people who are hated more than her. She is what fans have come to call the blonde bombshite, okay? Nagging, controlling, cheater. Some people say she's evil, and some people say even worse things about her. They call her. A lot of explicit language is used to define this woman. Now, is she really that bad? Let's just be honest here, guys. Does she deserve the hate on an objective level? You want to know my hot take on this? I don't think Skyler White is that bad. Don't leave! I know that's the last thing people want to hear. I know people despise this woman and want to see me go in on her and destroy her. Listen. You'll get what you want eventually in this video, okay? She is a flawed character. She's a flawed person. I think she actually works really well for the story in Breaking Bad, but a lot of people despise her. Look, I'll tell you who I despise. I'll tell you who I feel need to be nuked off the face of oblivion, okay? Philistine Iris should be firebombed, carpet bombed, hydrogen bombed. I hate these characters. I despise them. I think they're cancers to the show. I don't think Skyler White ruined the Breaking Bad. These two collectively ruined their shows. They're bad. Elena Gilbert is top 5 worst characters in fiction, period. Nothing more can even be said about her. She is a tomorrow that's not worth any words. I'm going to defend Skyler for just a little bit, for a little small segment, okay? Don't skip past this part, because we need to be objective here, okay? I'm not going to just be one of these guys who just flames a character and hates on him just because my audience wants me to, okay? You need to hear the truth. I will defend her. Let's name some positives here, okay? Sexuality. Don't listen. I need you. I'm going to get demonetized. I already know. When a husband like Walter White, for example, when these characters are not satisfied with their life, usually when we see in these movies a character like this, a sex life is also lacking for them. Their wife is fed up with them, or not in love with them anymore, or not giving them the same amount of action, and sex is very important, especially for men, all right? It's just a fact. Skyler White does appease Walter a bit in this area, okay? On his birthday, she's giving him a handy. Listen, we can respect that. When he comes home after doing bare criminal work, he starts giving her back shots when she has like shit on her face. He starts giving her back shots and puts her on the fridge. She didn't even see it coming. She didn't even have time to consent to it. She allows all this to happen, okay? They're flirting in a parent-teacher conference, and he takes her out back and decides to bang the shit out of her in a car. We can respect a woman who does this for her man. Oh man, I'm getting demonetized. We can respect a woman who does this for her man, okay? There's some positives here, okay? She cares for Walter genuinely. She does. She was the most supportive person in his whole cancer arc. She had the whole pillow talk thing on the couch, right? You could see the distraught pain in her face when Walter was flirting with the idea of not doing chemotherapy. She hated everything about life. She loves Walter. You can genuinely feel that she is a loving wife. Not many wives and women and girlfriends are in modern TV and modern movies. So we have to give her credit here, okay? She really was actively pushing for Walter to get the money from Gretchen and her husband for his cancer treatment. And when he didn't get it, she fucking lost her shit, as she should have. That, I don't blame her at all. I blame Walter for that. Walter's ego drove him to like, nah, fuck Gretchen, fuck Grey Matter. I'm gonna do this shit myself, right? That's his own ego and insecurity. That's on Walt, not Skyler. Skyler was the most supportive person in his cancer arc. Now, we need to address this. We can't blame Skyler fully for the stupidity that she causes, because Walter White is part of the problem. I know we love Walter White. He's based, fucking evil, sinister, badass. He's a bad person, though. He's a criminal that was a liability to his own family. He nearly buried them under the bullshit that he was doing. His ego got the best of him. He didn't do any of this really for his family. It was all about himself. He even admits it at the end. A lot of people are going to disagree with me, but this is the fact. If we put ourselves in Skyler White's shoes, having Walter as a husband in this stage, in this part of the show, in this timeline, is very, very fucking stressful. She gained a bunch of weight in the course of a year. Okay, I can kind of understand Skyler's mental faculties in the show. And I don't understand why people don't give the same amount of shit to Jane. I think it's just because Jane is really, really hot and played by Kirsten, whatever your name is, love you. Beautiful woman. Jesse's a lucky man, but she nearly destroyed Jesse, okay? She was about to run off with 400K like it was nothing and get her and Jesse murdered by heroin, all right? And when Walter let her die, it was one of the funniest moments in the show for me. I'm so glad he did that. I don't understand why people don't give Jane the same amount of shit. She in many ways is a toxic girlfriend as well. I think it's just because she's hot and had good chemistry with Jesse that people just ignored it. And I will say this. Skyler White has one of the funniest scenes in the show. When she starts bitching to Hank about her sister, Hank's wife, and having that chick as a sister, Marie, is really, really hard, man. Marie is a weirdo. So Skyler lost her mind, and Hank's face. This is one of the funniest scenes in fiction. And Skyler was 50% of the scene. She's what helped make the scene. I have to give her credit. Walter White is a problem. All right, any wife is going to freak out having this man as a husband. This dude's a villain. He's a villain, okay? Now, the moment you all been waiting for. There must be a but here, Zaffy, right? You simp. There must be a but. Skyler has an issue. When things don't go her way, when she can't control the situation or an outcome, she reacts in the most volatile, toxic way ever, and it is noticeably annoying, okay? Take when Walter White had all that shit happening with Tuco, and then he had to pretend like he had amnesia or something and wandered into a grocery store. His phone wasn't working, right? She didn't hear from him for a while. And when she learned that he was going through some shit with his brain and stuff, she lost her mind. She lost her mind and decided, I think it was after she found his second phone, but she decided, screw him. She decided to ghost Walter White for days and days. She would randomly just go out, wear makeup on, look all pretty, and just go out. And Walter would be like, what the fuck are you doing? And she wouldn't tell him. I actually got pissed off at Skyler at this point in the show because she started smoking. When you start smoking, not only are you smoking around a dude who has cancer, you have a baby, you're pregnant, for God's sakes. What the fuck are you doing, Skyler? Sky, we can do better than this. This was pathetic behavior by you. When she thinks that Gretchen and Walter are having an affair, she goes ballistic. And she doesn't ask him about it until after the fact when the damage is already done and she's been treating him like dog shit. And when she finds his second phone for like the second time, she straight up divorces the man. She goes very extreme in her reactions. I've noticed this about Skyler. And a lot of people could defend this and be like, oh, what do you expect her to do? I expect her to have better communication. She sucks at communication when things are not in her terms. She's all about talking when trying to figure out stuff in the beginning. But when she starts to get pissed off, this woman becomes the devil. Let's talk about this fucking Muppet. Ted. One of the worst characters in the show. I'm so glad that this shit happened to him. I hate this dude. Fuck this dude. Pathetic individual. She starts to work for Ted to get a job, to make some money. I already knew where this is heading. The moment I saw it in the show when I was watching for the first time, I already knew where this was heading, okay? When she sings Mr. President, Happy Birthday to him on his birthday, it is one of the most cringe-worthy scenes ever. I don't know what the fuck the scene even is, because why would any team of employees allow this to happen and not cringe? Why would an employer allow this to happen? This is so cringe. Who would let this happen? Look at all these bots and NPCs in the background smiling. Oh, it's his birthday. Look how great this is. What Skyler's doing. You all need to be shot. Like all you people need to be shot completely for allowing this scene to happen. One of Skyler's most cringe moments of all time. Very easily. And she has an affair with Ted because she's unhappy with Walter. Look, I will say what I say about Skyler White and how I understand and empathize with her in her situation with Walter, but there's no condoning this. Cheating at any cost is a problem. This is some 304 level behavior, Skyler. We can do better. Bad girl, Skyler. Bad girl. This is horrible. This is pathetic. You should never have been sleeping with Ted. He's not even an interesting individual. I don't know what she saw in him. They had no fucking chemistry at all. She worked way better with Walter and she knows it and she still did it with him. She's not even into Ted and she did it. She did it to spite Walter. Stupid behavior. A bad girl. Bad girl. Also, her taking a whole bunch of Walter's money and giving it to Ted for him to satisfy his financial issues and buy a freaking car. This woman is insanely low IQ. You belong on the streets for that shit. And let's not even mention all the bullshit she's put Walter through. She threatens to call the cops on Walter like 7 times at one point. She threatens to off herself like 3 times. She almost does. She gets very, very extreme with her. And listen, I understand she's in a complicated predicament with a man who's a criminal fucking crime. He's a crime lord. But you're potentially also logically putting your family in danger by doing this. You know that, right, Skyler? What the fuck are you gonna do if this man goes to jail and you and your family are implicated, which you will be, by the way? What are you gonna do? She wasn't using her brain a lot of times. This is the issue. She's a control freak. When she doesn't get things on her terms, she loses her shit very rapidly and goes very extreme with it, okay? She needs a sense of control or else she'll lose it. She'll do the stupidest thing imaginable. Her original plan, the original ending of the show was she was going to off herself. Remember she tried to do in the swimming pool? She was going to actually go through with it at the end of the show. I don't know if it was the series finale or one of the final episodes, she was going to do it. And this would have screwed everyone over because one, her kids would be without a mother. Walter's crusade to give them all that money would have been for nothing because without their mother, dude, the whole family dynamic has crumbled. And Walter himself looks like a worse person now. Now we have to hate Walter, right? So Skyler would have fucked everything over because of this. Now, there's 2 sets of fans here. The ones who are like, based, Skyler dies, yay. And then the ones who are like, bro, you literally ruined everything. You made this a worse ending. I'm really glad they didn't have her off herself. The fans' payback on Skyler was Walter telling her, I did it for me, not for you. That was enough. Not this whole, oh, let me off myself and ruin my goddamn family. Like, what the fuck? Horrible. Would have made her that would have made her top 3 worst characters in my book of all time. Easily. But I don't think she's that bad. Okay? Sorry. I just don't. I kind of see her side on a few things, but she does a lot of cringe things that need to be addressed and are very problematic. But ultimately, I don't think she actually makes the show worse. I think her stupidity actually makes the show better in a lot of ways. I think her and Walter work well together with their pathetic, their relationship is schizophrenic. And I actually love watching that. If you want to know why Elena Gilbert and a few other women that I mentioned on this video are the worst of all time and need to be freaking nuked off the face of the earth, their characters are pathetic, watch this video here. Ladies and gentlemen, we are on a mission to take over Hollywood. But the army must keep growing. If you want to suggest video topics to me or talk about your favorite movies or favorite film theories in a community with like-minded individuals, join the Zafy Discord now. Link is in the description and the comment section as well. Join us. This movement is just beginning. We're taking over Hollywood, one coke line at a time.